much pink do you have in your wardrobe, Z?
The pink doesn't look real good on me.
Blue is much better on you, right, Z?
Evidently.
Yeah.
And I've got all shades of blue.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Z and J Dub podcast presented by Provenzano's Deli and the Charger Athletics Fund. As always, our podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. And we thank you for joining us today across all of our social media channels. Our guest today is Sam Sorbello, who attended UNH, played football here as a university benefactor. Dr. Z, you've known Sam for a long time. This will be my first time chatting with him. What can you tell the audience about Sam?
You know, Sam was one of the first folks I met when I came here. It was at Huddle. For those of you in the UNH world, Huddle's a pretty big deal. It was down at Bar Pizza, and my wife was here for a quick visit. And what I remember about that meeting was my wife fell in love with Sam's mom. And so, you know, for the next, even to this day, Pam's like, "You mean the guy whose mom I love?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's Sam." We've progressed a little past that, but Sam's been a gracious host to John and Rob and me and others at his house in Ocean City, New Jersey, and his wife Cindy's been an unbelievable hostess and really just spent some great time together over the last couple of years.
It's a big weekend, as it always is for football, anytime the football team is at home. But this is the Pink game, Dr. Z, against Assumption coming up on Saturday. What can you tell us a little bit about the Pink game and why that's so important?
Well, you know, you can't talk about football without right now talking about how our football team's sitting atop the leaderboard, along with Bentley in our conference. And I can't say that without mentioning the volleyball's right up there with them. So this is a good fall right now at UNH at this juncture in the season. But the Pink game's a special game on every campus. Most campuses have it in some form or fashion. You know, what makes it extra special here is Sam and the commitment he's made on behalf of his former wife, Colleen, and that it's part of the Pink Clover Foundation experience and the lab on campus. I'm putting out all these bullet points for you and Sam to follow up on, and I'll get out of the way. But it's extra special here.
Let's bring Sam out. Sam Sorbello joins us now from his home, as Dr. Z mentioned, in Ocean City, New Jersey. Sam attended UNH, football player here, and has a long, proud history here at the University of New Haven. Sam, welcome to the Dr. Z and J Dub podcast. How are you?
I'm great, and I just want to say thank you for having me on. I'm humbled and honored to be on this program with you guys.
Well, Sam, we're thrilled to have you. Like I said, this is my first time getting a chance to chat with you. So not only for my benefit, but for the viewers and listeners, please give us a sense of your background. Where are you from and how your path took you here to UNH?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. It all stems, I give Rob Thompson a lot of credit for bringing me back to UNH, but truthfully, I lost touch after I graduated and, got in the business world and focused on that for many years. And then actually when the UNH football team went to the national championship game, that's when it kind of really hit me. I was happened to be with my young son at the time, hit the ESPN on, and there they were. It's like the final cap was when UNH played Villanova, at Villanova, which is not too far from where I live. I took a drive out there that year, and Villanova had the number one running back in the country then. I think he ended up being a Philadelphia Eagle. I should know who he is. And, they were ranked in the top 5 in FCS, and New Haven beat them.
So, Sam, as we mentioned, you went to school here, you played football here. If you don't mind, I know it's giving away your age a little bit, but what years were you here and what was life like at UNH back in those days?
Well, back then, we just came out of, we were D3 going into D2, and Miles McPherson was on the football team. He was a senior. Things were a lot different. I mean, they really were. It was, the campus life wasn't like it is today. The atmosphere, the crowd wasn't there, it wasn't as electric, but still it's a great experience. But it makes me proud to go back today to see how it evolved and how the campus is alive and electric, and the football is exciting. So I hope-
Sam, you and your former wife Colleen visited our campus in 2015 for a football game. How did that visit change your lives and change the lives of people here on this campus?
We started our foundation in October of 2017, shortly thereafter my wife Colleen passed away of metastatic HER2 breast cancer. But the grassroots literally started October of 2015 at that football game. And Colleen was actually at that point she was fairly healthy. She really was. And I think of her there and all those sorts of things, you'll paint a picture of health. And there was a football player also, Mark Clemens. I think he was a sophomore at the time. He was either a freshman or sophomore that had cancer as well. And, they hit it off tremendously. It was a great day. She gave a speech to the football team, which I think I'm going to be doing this Friday, trying to, at that point, when we were there on that campus, when we met with the research lab, that's where our focus is going to be.
Yeah, the Colleen Sorbello Research Lab in Dodds Hall came out of that. It provides students with hands-on experience in all facets of biomedical research. Your thoughts on how that's grown in such a relatively short period of time?
Yeah, amazing. Since its inception, when we were there, I would look at the students and say, my goodness, the caliber of student that's there in that research lab compared to, not compare, I don't want to compare, but it's unbelievable. Now that we have the lab together, we I threw some money at it. I think the University of New Haven threw some money at it. It's a world-class lab. And when you talk to the professor, Eva Sappi there, she's happy to be there, and she's happy to tell you that it's on a level that when these students come in, they're like, it's a wow factor. And that's what we wanted.
Sam, speaking of Pink, I wanted to ask about the Pink Clover Foundation. Please tell us what that is and how you guys came up with that name.
The Pink Clover Foundation was formed in 2017 with friends and family, board members. There's 9 of us today. The Pink Clover, my wife Colleen was Irish, so we decided we wanted to do something to keep in line with the Irish theme. So we came up with Pink Clover. And that's pretty much our tag name. We raise money for research, education, and comfort. We have tremendous partners. In the 4 short years, going on 5 now, today we have 19 comfort recipients that we have granted money to. And it just doesn't stop there, J-Dub. We don't give them the money and say goodbye. It's nice meeting you. We stay with them. They're family. We tell them you're part of the Pink Clover family now.
To make this even more real, my first year here, Sam invited several of us down to the ball, an annual ball they have now. I know the COVID kind of put that on hold this past year, but went down there and he had an unbelievable guest speaker. Yeah, Jamie Valvano, the coach's daughter. What stood out, besides just an outstanding black tie event, was the women that you had, what you refer to as comfort recipients, that you introduced and told their story. And it's one of the more moving events I've attended in my life. And what you got to see firsthand there was, heck, that night there was something like 6, 7, or 8 women that you were impacting at that time and their families.
Yeah, and most of which these ladies are pretty terminally sick. They're generally stage 4. They're generally struggling not just with the cancer, and sometimes it has already metastasized, but they're struggling day to day with financial burdens, and that's where we kind of come in with the grant money and to help them out and support them.
Sam, nobody goes through life alone, right? We all need to support one another, right? No one should ever have to battle anything like cancer or any other personal strife alone. Sam, how important is this togetherness, this family atmosphere, this comfort for everybody? How reassuring is it to everyone involved, be it the people who have cancer, their families, their friends, their loved ones? How important is that emotional support to get everyone through this difficult time?
We just had a 5K this past Sunday, and a couple of the comfort recipients past came to the event, and we honored 4 new comfort recipients at this 5K, and 2 of them were emotionally really I hate to say they were struggling. The past recipients, and there's one in particular, she's actually coming up to New Haven. She is, you know how you have a football team and you have that leader, that captain. Well, she's that type of person, even though she's going through the struggles herself and some severe struggles. I mean, she took these two girls under her wing and just sat there and talked to them and gave her information, her email, and here she's battling it herself, but yet and that's what they're forming. They're forming this, yeah, you have what, I have this. Oh yeah, let's talk. Let my husband, even the support groups. I mean, the comfort of your family, all that. I mean, they're struggling, so they talk amongst each other. It's really amazing to watch.
Sam, I don't know if he would expect me to say this or not, probably not, but this was very public a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not hiding a secret here or exposing a secret, but Sam is a contributor to the Peterson Performance Center. So these aren't just words he's speaking about supporting the team. He's at a significant level, and we honored 9 of those donors at the groundbreaking 2 weeks ago, and this is a way to just even more publicly say thank you, Sam, for staying with us. And you're heavily invested in the lab on campus, but you're also invested with our athletic facilities, and can't thank you enough for that.
I'm honored to do so, and like I said, I'm humbled to be part of this all. I really am.
Sam, we asked Dave Peterson the same question a couple of weeks ago when we had him on the podcast, so I'll ask it to you as well. Why is it important for people to give back to the University of New Haven?
It's dear to me. The university. That's where your grassroots is, where you start your life, basically, right there, right? And so you get through it, and it's an opportunity to give back. When you're blessed and fortunate enough to be able to have a business and do what you do and on a scale that you're, a lot of the times that it's formed at the University of New Haven, you have to give back. You should give back. You should always look to. And then on top of it, that's not I'm throwing money at something. I'm throwing money at something that I'm looking at, and I can see the investment. It's not like it's not a bad investment. I don't mean to use those words like that. But if university was tanking, then it'll be but it's prospering, and it's a wonderful thing to take part of, and it's a great group of guys and gals that I'm blessed to know, and that's it in a nutshell.
Sam, before we let you go, what's the website for the Pink Clover Foundation? Where can people go to learn more about breast cancer research and all the good work that you guys are doing, and where can they go to donate? PinkCloverFoundation.org. And you can go on the website, and there's plenty of opportunities to make a donation. We would appreciate anything. And know that whatever you give, it goes directly, all the net proceeds go to these various research, education, and comfort, mostly the comfort piece. Again, our board works tirelessly. We don't take a dime. We take no salaries. It's all from hard work and just grinding it out. We all look in the mirror, and in our time on this earth, we'd like to think that we made a difference. And I often think, well, am I doing enough? And I'm kind of sharing this with other people. And, we don't all need to start our own foundations. We all don't need to start something. There are quality organizations like what Sam has, the Pink Clover Foundation. So I think he and his group provides an opportunity for all of us to be a part of something. And I appreciate you doing that. I know that's a different angle on things, but people don't think of that very often. It's just how Sam feels about the University of New Haven. There are those of us who feel that way about the Pink Clover Foundation. It's a thriving organization in a way that you can get involved and help. Even if you have $50, $100, whatever it is, your money will count. If you don't think it'll count, wash that out of your mind and become a part of something like this. Sam, it was great to see you. Thanks for joining us here on the Dr. Z and J Dub podcast, and we look forward to seeing you this weekend. Hopefully you can bring some nice weather with you. Thank you for having me again, and go Chargers. That'll do it for this edition of the Dr. Z and J Dub podcast. For our producer, Broccoli Rob Thompson, for our executive producer, John Mays, we again thank Sam Sorbello for joining us. For Dr. Z, I'm J Dub. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All these former football players are in shape. Miles McPherson, we had him on a year ago. He's in shape. Broccoli Rob, our producer, right? He's in shape. Yeah. So we got some catching up to do. We do. We need a little inspiration.